Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about the Ready or Not censorship situation because the game had to undergo some changes in order to make it certified for a console release because apparently it was way too mature for a console game, which is ridiculous in my opinion. But I want to go through what the changes are, my opinions on the changes, and censorship in general. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm completely anti-censorship. I don't care what it is. If you had a game that had the most heinous act imaginable in the game, whatever that may be, from murder to whatever else, it shouldn't be censored. I'm sorry. If you want to release another version of the game, but keep the uncensored version available, fine. But you should never completely or just do a censorship on a game that's already out and make that the only version that's playable going forward. I'm sorry, that just does not sit well with me. I know they wanted to get into the console market to, of course, expand their player base and make more money, but this is not the way to do it for your PC players. And they say that they can't do it because of the crossplay. Well, then just don't have crossplay. And the sad thing is, I was a person who was really looking forward to the console release of Ready or Not because I have an old computer. And I could play the game when it was in early access because it was Unreal Engine 4. And then when they swapped over to Unreal Engine 5, I can't play the game anymore, or, it stutters and then it crashes. So I was really looking forward to the console version because while I do want to get a PC in the future that's a lot better than this one, of course, buying the game on console would be a lot cheaper. I think it's $60 on console is what it's going to be. And then for $20 more, you get all the DLC. So not a bad, price, but they do have to do the changes for console, and I'm like, well, just do it for the console. Like, take out the crossplay and make it so that console is the only platform where the censorship is at. It doesn't make sense why you're retroactively or changing the PC version with the content. Now, what is the content that is getting removed? So it is dismemberment, aka gore. Player-induced dismemberment still has a large presence in the game, but is a little more limited as to when it occurs. When alive enemies are shot, they can undergo dismemberment. However, once they are dead, no further dismemberment occurs. Note, the level of dismemberment itself, when it occurs, was not actually toned down. Ultimately, we consider this an okay compromise, considering our gameplay design already dissuades use of lethal force anyway. I get it. They don't, for some reason, Sony or Microsoft had this problem with people shooting corpses and dismembering them. While I personally don't do that in the game, I still think it's ridiculous that it has to be a change in the first place when you already have games like Dead Space out there where you're literally hacking off limbs of creatures. And yeah, oh my god, it's a human instead. I don't care, there's games that are more violent than Ready or Not when it comes to, gratuitous violence. So that's already ridiculous. So yeah, down below, let's go to the nudity. Some instances of explicit nudity for a handful of civilians and one suspect, Gerard's ghillie suit only scantily concealed himself, have been covered up a bit more. Now, what this changes as well is there is a lot of, how would I say it to not flag this video, okay, I'll just say sex trafficking. There's sex trafficking in the game. You find the women, they're nude, they're beaten up, it's horrific in the game. Now they're going to be covered up, still maybe disheveled, but it's not going to have the same emotional impact, I don't think. Now here's the one that I really disagreed with. Because this mission, I never got far enough to see the sex trafficking when it came to the women that they covered up, because again the game kept freezing and crashing. I was really hoping to play this on console. Here's the one that to me just really saps some of the emotional weight out of the game. So, explicit representations of violence / mistreatment against children. Although we already made a substantial effort to present mistreatment against children in the game in a responsible way, we made slight thematic expansions of this philosophy in order to better meet certification standards. For example, the child on Twisted Nerve has had an animation change to be unconscious / sleeping instead of the previously convulsive animation from before that had a violent appearance. The changes with the console version are small enough that most people here wouldn't notice it. We didn't say anything. That's a lie. But we want to be transparent. It's largely just evidence and nudity that's altered, and the texture changes don't affect the PC version. So, in this mission, you are raiding basically a drug den, and you happen upon this bedroom with a child in it, and clearly the child is like having an overdose from drugs, and is convulsing on the bed. And right after I saw that, for the rest of the mission, I was, my anxiety was through the roof. I was scared of what I was going to find, later on in the mission. That really affected me, especially the other stuff around the scene as well. Now just having them completely unconscious, still in the middle of all this gunfire and unresponsive, it's just kind of weird. I don't know why Sony or Microsoft to begin with would be like, oh, this one's not okay and this one's okay in that instance, because it is a purely thematic thing. But I don't know. That really affected me when I played the mission. So the fact that it's going to feel a lot less, emotionally heavy. And you have to remember, Ready or Not is a game that was billed as pulling no punches. When they showed the original release trailer, there was supposed to be a school shooting that was insinuated to take place in an elementary school. And, well, come release, they had to change it to a community college or whatever, and significantly do away with some of the violent depictions in that. And I'm like, yeah, if it's censorship that happens before the game releases, I still don't like it, but at least you're not removing anything from the product you're selling. But making these changes, a lot of people might say that they're minor, or get hung up on the fact of, why do you want to see like bad stuff happen? But don't straw man me in that way. There's been so much straw manning going on with that. And my main thing is, for one, I'm against censorship again of all forms. I don't care how heinous the content is. I want it uncensored. But more specifically to Ready or Not, again, the child overdosing in that one mission was completely terrifying. Like, it really sets you on edge. It's uncomfortable. And that's what this game is supposed to evoke. And yes, while you might still feel a level of uncomfortable from it, you're not going to get the same visceral reaction, I don't think, with the new changes. So yeah, to me it's a complete L on Void Interactive. Just make the game not able to be played crossplay. It makes no sense why you're censoring the game for PC players when it's a console-specific regulation, essentially. And I've been having a little bit of back and forth with people on the Steam forums, and yeah, the sentiment is mostly the same way with most people on the Steam forums. Of course, the Steam forums are a very small subset of the people who actually play the game. We'll see if the censorship changes, impact the game in any way going forward with sales and stuff. I know I'm personally probably going to look for a refund because I don't like the practice of censorship after a game is already released. I'm sorry, it's not for me. And I would much rather put my time into a tactical shooter that doesn't have that, But yeah, that's just me. If you think people are overreacting, you can voice your opinions down below. Let me know what you think about this situation. I'm, again, pretty disappointed because I really wanted Ready or Not to be the SWAT 4 successor, to be an amazing game. And it is a pretty decent game. That's not the only bone to pick I have with Void Interactive either. They had a lot more gameplay modes in early access that they completely removed in 1.0. And I have no idea why they never added them back in. So not only do we have the censorship stuff now, but there's been a long line of stuff that they've either removed or changed. It's not good, So yeah, that's about it. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike the video if you disliked the video. Let me know your thoughts down below on the censorship of Ready or Not. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video.